Hello world, this is Edward Bevilacqua from Ciao Tutti in the Italian American Club, and we got lucky today. We got on the calendar, that's a pretty clever use of term, right? We got on the calendar of Judge Joe Bonaventure down here in Las Vegas. You're, what department?
Department 9.
Department 9 on the 6th floor. Most people don't want to come here, right?
Definitely.
Okay, most people don't want to come here. So Judge Joe, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to our Ciao Tutti universe, which includes everyone in the whole world now, all Italian Americans. So, and I know we have limited time, so let's just jump right into the biggest thing our viewers want to know is, what are your Italian roots?
Well, my Italian roots are on my father's side.
Okay.
My father's father, my grandfather, was born in Sicily.
Okay.
He was born in Catania, Sicily,
Okay.
near Mount Etna, and eventually moved to New York.
All right. Now, 2 questions. Do you know where Angelo Casaro's family's from in Sicily?
Not exactly.
Okay. I think they're from the mountain. So
Near-
you're in the
near Mount
mountain.
Etna?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they are, but I'll find out tonight because we have a meeting. And when you say New York, what do you mean?
Well, they went to Queens.
Okay, Queens.
Queens, New York.
Okay. All right. Not Buffalo.
No.
Because that's where Angelo
Okay.
is from. And maybe 20% of the members of the club.
All right.
We have 700 members.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And your grandparents were there. What did your grandfather do?
My grandfather was a cab driver
Oh, really?
in New York.
Okay. How old was he when he came to the U.S.?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question. He was a young man. Came with my grandmother, who
Okay.
also was born in Sicily, and moved to New York, where he had
Was it before World War I? After World War I?
after World War One.
After World War I.
Had eight children.
Wow.
My father was the youngest of 8 children.
Okay.
And eventually my father moved west, moved first to Tucson, where my father attended University of Arizona Law School.
Okay, that's in Tucson, right?
Correct.
Okay.
He eventually moved to Las Vegas. My
Okay.
father was a judge before I was. He was a justice of the peace.
Okay.
He eventually became a district court judge, a trial level judge. He's retired now, and
Okay.
I followed in his footsteps, and I became
All
a
right.
justice of the peace as well.
So where were you born?
I was born in Las Vegas, born and
Okay,
raised in
good.
Las
We're going to
Vegas.
come to that.
Okay.
But see, that's good. That's great. Great. So you were born here. Your dad, did any of his brothers and sisters come out? Or did they stay?
No, my aunts and uncles are spread throughout the United States.
Okay, so
Some
many
stayed
of
in-
them left.
Yeah, many of them left. Some stayed in New York.
Okay. Do you ever go back there?
Once in a while.
Okay.
I've been there.
Do
a
they
few
come
times.
here?
Yes, sometimes they come here for sure. Yeah.
All right. So do you know why your dad came to Vegas?
No.
Okay. Was he right out of law school?
He was right out of law school. Decided to come to Las Vegas. I think it was at the suggestion of his brother.
Okay.
Decided
Was his brother here?
Yeah, I think they just decided on their own after
Okay.
they went to law school together. I think
he
his
did.
brother dropped out. He stuck it out, graduated
Okay.
law school, decided on a different opportunity, tried to see what would it be like in Las Vegas.
Now, at that time, there was no law school in the state.
No.
But you still had to take a bar exam
Yes,
here.
he took the
There
bar
wasn't
exam
like
in Nevada.
take the bar exam in the state where you are because we don't have our own bar exam.
Right.
It wasn't that way.
No.
Okay. So he moved out here. How long had he been here before you were born?
Several years.
Was he married when he came here?
No, he got married. He met my mother in Las
She
Vegas.
was here. Okay. So, and was your dad, was he a practicing attorney
Yes.
before becoming
Yes.
justice?
Yes. He was in the public defender's office
Okay.
as a criminal defense attorney. Then he went into private practice for a little while, and
Okay.
then he decided to run for a judge.
Okay. Now, what is a justice of the peace?
A justice of the peace is a lower court judge, handles misdemeanors, traffic tickets.
How is it
evictions.
different than municipal court?
A municipal court judge is a city court judge, handles only misdemeanors, has jurisdiction only over misdemeanors. A justice of the peace is a county judge and does have more
okay.
jurisdiction, has jurisdiction
Okay.
over felonies also. So if you get arrested for a felony offense, your case does start in justice court.
Okay, so you're arraigned in justice
You're
court?
arraigned in justice court, you set bail in justice court, you hear a preliminary hearing in justice court, and then if there's enough evidence, you're sent to the higher court, the trial level court.
Okay. And now you're municipal court.
I'm justice court.
Oh, you're justice court. Oh,
Right.
so you're what your dad was?
Yes.
Oh, cool. And was he the same department?
No, he was Department 1.
Okay.
When my dad, I think there might have been just one department.
Oh,
When my dad
really?
was a judge, it was Las Vegas in the 70s.
Okay.
And now we have 14 departments in the Las Vegas Justice Court.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So, and you worked on some high-profile cases.
I have. Like, for example, what I was just saying is when a case first starts, it starts in justice court. For instance, when O.J. Simpson was arrested in Las Vegas, I was the first judge.
Robbery or
for the robbery in a casino.
Now, what was the issue that some guys were stealing his stuff, or they had stolen it, he wanted to get it back?
Yeah, that was the allegation, is that he went into a hotel room where supposedly they had a lot of his memorabilia,
that
and
had
he
been
went
stolen
in
from him,
with
right?
some of that's what he said. They had his memorabilia, so he went in with some of his friends with guns to get it back. And they arrested O.J. Simpson, and he appeared in front of me. I was the first judge that he appeared in front of. I arraigned him. I set bail.
So he said there's enough reason to hold him.
And then I had a hearing. It was a 4-day hearing where the prosecutors presented evidence, and I made the determination that there was enough evidence to send him to trial, where he went to trial in front of another judge, Judge Jackie Glass. And eventually he was convicted, and he is now in prison on those charges.
Okay, so now wasn't there something like some stupid moron had a cell phone recording on or something like that?
Yes, I believe that's the case. It's been several years now, but I believe there was
I think there
recording
was
of it.
somebody was recording it, which refuted everything he said actually happened.
I think that's true.
And it had, I think, him on tape threatening people.
If I remember right.
Okay, so do you try to just flesh these things out, or is it just there's just so much volume that you can't remember?
Yeah, there's so much.
Okay.
Las Vegas is a 24-hour town. It's an exciting town. I mean, we see something different every day. And there's so many cases. There's just so many cases. It's overwhelming, and that's not the only high-profile case I've had. I've had Paris Hilton.
Okay,
was in front of
hers
me.
Was cocaine?
Yeah,
was this in the early part of her career, or?
Yeah, it was.
She was
already known. She was already well known, and she was with her boyfriend. I think driving down the Las Vegas Strip, and officers noticed, I think, marijuana smoke coming out of a vehicle, pulled it over. Eventually,
how did they know it was marijuana smoke?
Yeah, I think they might have. I think it was slow traffic on the Las Vegas Strip. I think it might have been bicycle cops. Might have smelled an odor of marijuana emanating from the vehicle, and they pulled the car over. Wow. She wasn't driving, but I think maybe they might have searched her purse, or maybe something fell from her purse. It was a white powdery substance, which they eventually determined to be cocaine. No, she wasn't on probation. That would have been much more serious. But it was a small amount of cocaine. And so she appeared in front of me. She resolved her case. There was an agreement with the district attorney's office to resolve it to a misdemeanor. She performed some counseling, performed some community service, completed some counseling, and was in an informal probationary period, which she successfully completed, and her case was closed. But that's just one example of the types of things you see in Las Vegas.
Treatment, right?
No, it was a typical type of resolution to a case like that.
So if anybody else had been in the car, exact same set of facts, same exact result.
Absolutely.
Even if they had a public defender.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Same result.
Absolutely.
Based on the facts.
Yeah.
What happened.
That for a first time, small amount of a drug offender, absolutely, it was very typical resolution.
Now, what if the accused had said in front of you, well, the last time this happened, when I had more stuff, I didn't get, the cop let me go. Would that have had any impact on you as a judge? Kind of saying something?
Probably.
Okay.
Then it would have probably been a different resolution.
Yeah, okay. This is more habitual or something, right?
Probably a higher level of treatment, or possibly even jail time at that point.
Okay. So the number one thing is keep your mouth shut, right?
That's probably good advice. If you'd be a good defense attorney.
Now, what did was it Spitzer? I think it was Elliot Spitzer said something like, if you can write it or say it. If you can nod your head or say it, nod your head. You know, I was like this process of only at the last resort put something in writing. You know, just try to do the least you can do so that it can't be misinterpreted. You know, on the good side.
I'm sure any defense attorney would give that same advice.
You know, have you had anything come before you where there was something that was really not proper to be said, but it was sarcasm? You know, sarcasm doesn't work in writing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's at many hearings you hear things that are open to interpretation, and there's arguments on each side, and that's why we have the justice system. That's why we have triers of fact.
Yes, I did say I was going to kill him, but I was being sarcastic.
And it's up to the trier of fact, either the judge or the jury.
Okay. Yep. Now, how about the case we had something in law school that always struck me was breach of contract, a form contract like a rental car, and the plaintiff, the rental car company, says, well, it says right here in paragraph whatever the contract, and the defense being, I didn't read that contract. And the example we had is the judge said, well, I never read those things either. It's kind of like an adhesion contract, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's if you want the car, you sign it, but nobody really knows what they're signing. Does that have any sway, that argument, that defense?
Not really. If it's in writing, you've signed it, it's really tough to get around that. Right. You know, there'd have to be
even like
some other. Yeah.
Did you do any equity here?
You know, we do have civil cases in the Las Vegas Justice Court. We have right now the jurisdiction is under $10,000.
Okay.
So we do have those. I haven't had those types of cases. Okay. We do have dedicated civil departments. Right now, I'm currently the chief judge of the Las Vegas Justice Court. So
of all 14
departments. So my duties are I do have a limited court calendar. I do preside over a specialty court, a DUI specialty court calendar, but I'm more limited to administrative matters at this point. The last 2 years, I presided over an all DUI calendar, criminal calendar. Before that, for several years, I did a strictly criminal calendar, general criminal calendar. So I haven't had a civil docket in some years.
So that's, I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's, neither.
It's just what it is.
It is.
Okay. Now, well, let me ask you about DUI. When do you go to prison for DUI?
Well, typically it was on your third DUI.
Okay. Regardless of whether somebody's injured.
If somebody's injured, it could be the first.
Let's say nobody's injured.
If nobody's injured, it would normally be in your third one.
Nevada you're just not getting the lesson. You're just not learning.
Nevada law, the first one is a misdemeanor. There are certain mandatory really penalties. Though, right? There's minimum fines, at least $685 in fines and fees, mandatory victim impact panel, mandatory class. That's the minimum possible penalties. A second offense is and also there's mandatory 2 days in jail. A second offense, also mandatory fines, fees, they're higher. Yeah. There's also additional treatment, counseling, and on the second offense, mandatory 10 days in jail.
Okay.
A third offense is a mandatory prison.
Like 90 days?
No,
1 year?
1 to 5 years.
And in Nevada, what does 1 to 5 years mean?
Well,
minimum of 1 year? Like in California, 1 year means half a year.
Yeah,
6 months.
That's calculated by the Department of Corrections, and I don't know exactly. Okay. I have a feeling just with overcrowding reasons that they probably give you some additional credits on nonviolent offenses, but it's a significant amount of time. I don't think it's that much.
Now, so would you say it ends up costing the defendant first offense $5,000?
In attorney's fees and costs for the
going to the
counseling, I would think so.
What about the second? Double?
I would think so.
More
also.
Than double.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was double.
And third time it gets to be heavy duty when you add in lost wages.
Right. Absolutely.
And just what happens for the rest of your life.
Exactly. You're right, with convictions on your record.
Now, what happens if you've gone to prison and you get a DUI after that? Are you what do they call it here, habitual criminal or something?
Yeah. Sometimes, if it is a third offense, you may be eligible for an extensive, like a 3-year diversion program, which is very expensive, very...
How many steps do you go with people? before you don't see them in justice court?
Well,
Or
well,
never keep them?
in my DUI treatment court, it's a 1-year program where we try to keep
But
the
like,
people
is it
from
the
getting to
first
the
one?
third. It's
Oh,
it's usually their
second?
first or second, basically. So we try to get them from
What
getting
if it
to
is
the
their third? Is that you might
No,
arraign them, but
if it's
out
their
of you?
third, they'd be in district court, likely facing prison or that 3-year diversion
And
program.
what if it's their fifth? And they've been to
Yeah,
prison twice.
then likely they're going to prison for a
So
lengthy
no
time.
love from the DA.
No.
Just
And
maximum
especially,
or whatever.
our DA, Steve Wilson, he's on record in the public with being very strict on those types of offenses. Because there was a very high-profile case recently where someone was out of custody awaiting trial on a first offense. No one was injured on a misdemeanor DUI, and he picked up another DUI. Only this time he did injure and kill a few people. In that type of situation, he never wants to see something like that happen again. So those are the situations we want to avoid.
Okay, now, and now if somebody's injured, first offense, somebody's injured, what?
If it's substantial bodily harm or death, then that's a felony, and that's just mandatory prison.
So that now it's just because it's a felony.
So even if it's the first offense, so we're really trying to get to people. We're really trying to get the word out that it's something.
Now,
like
what
that
about
can't
this
happen.
case? What about this hypo? So we're going back to law school, right? How about this hypo? We'll change a little bit. The person is just slightly over the legal limit. It's a vehicular thing. The other guy dies, but they made an illegal traffic, like an illegal left turn. So they got in a head-on collision because the person who died, traffic violation. Does that part matter? Or is it just you're over the legal limit, somebody died?
Yeah.
I don't care about that. What that guy did. Yeah. He's already paid. He's dead.
Yeah. I mean, now we're getting into legal defenses. There may be proximate cause defenses, but no, I've seen that come up, and I've still seen the person convicted.
Yeah.
Even though the other person may have been at fault. I mean, there may be, the person under the influence was also partially at fault and under the influence, and still could be convicted.
Well, I say that because we have somebody at our school who that's what happened to her, and person died. So goodbye.
There's lots of options other than getting behind the wheel. We have
hard
Uber now in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now we
those
do.
Types of things. And
so, but I guess the hard part is Las Vegas, as we said, this is a 24-hour town. You can do whatever you want. With some of the best clubs in the world are here. I shouldn't say nobody, but most people don't want to be the designated driver. Right. But there are enough cabs.
Definitely.
Right? Nobody could use the defense if I tried to call a cab, there were no cabs.
Right.
And so are Uber's legal challenges behind them, as far as you know?
I know they're here now, and I know they're driving now. I know basically what I read in the paper.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in court yet, but there's a couple issues statewide, and basically a business license issue. So the state business license issues and the county business license issues.
Do they go down to the city level, or is it city? County?
Yeah, then there's possibly city license issues also.
So now, how about the Supreme Court? Were you in favor of it? Having a Supreme Court here?
A Court of Appeals?
No, didn't the Supreme Court was people voted in having a Supreme Court.
A Court of Appeals. That was the most.
Oh no, yeah, we always had.
We always had a Supreme Court.
Yeah, Court of Appeals.
Just recently, the voters approved a Court of Appeals. Yes, I was. Okay. We're one of few states that do not have Court of Appeals, and our caseload necessitated
and does
intermediary.
The Supreme Court here work that they can decide to not take the case and send it back? Or if it goes to the Supreme Court, is it like in California where the courts of appeal are, if it warrants, there's some technical violation or something,
Yeah. It's so new, but I believe that that is the case, that they do have the option.
Okay, so wait, right now everything goes to the Supreme Court. The
Um,
courts of appeal are they open now?
They are open now.
Oh, they are.
This
Okay, before that.
Beginning of this year, I believe.
Before that, somebody appeals to the Supreme Court.
Right.
And could they say yes or no?
I believe so.
Okay. Now, does it automatically go to the Court of
I
Appeals?
believe so, yes.
Okay. You don't.
From district court, you would go to the Court
just
of
like
Appeals.
in California.
Right.
You don't get. Okay. Good. And so you've been practicing for how many years?
It's been about 15 years now.
15 years. Wow. Time goes by quickly.
It does. Yeah.
And you've seen some changes here.
Absolutely.
Like we were just talking about Court of Appeals.
Yep.
Is one. Do you guys have fast track here? Or do we, not you guys, I live here too now. Do we have fast track here?
We do.
Okay. And how is that like everything is in 1 year?
It's been a long time. See, again, I'm
Oh,
a
yeah,
justice
right.
court.
You're
I've
on
been
the
a
other
justice
side,
court I've been a justice court judge for almost 11 years now. And
Move this over here. Thanks.
yeah, I've been a justice court judge for 11 years now, so it's been a long time since
Okay.
I've dealt with fast track.
And is there any equivalent on your side to that?
In
Or is it
justice
ever,
court?
well, you have the statutory things have to go to trial within a certain amount
Yeah,
of
oh
time.
yeah, we do. We do have in our civil,
Yeah.
we do have statutory time periods and mandatory mediations and
Compared to all other states, because we talked about this was one of the few states that didn't have a law school until recently.
that's right.
Compared to other states, how is Nevada? Is it like at the forefront of the court system, I should say? Yeah.
We're getting there.
Okay.
I would say.
It's not the wild, wild west, though.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. We are getting there. I was mentioning to you, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I spent my whole life in Las Vegas. I graduated Bishop Gorman High School.
Did you play any sports?
No,
Okay.
not at Bishop
You're at the
Gorman.
other one,
What's that?
the old Bishop Gorman.
The old Bishop Gorman,
Okay. And what year
downtown.
did you graduate?
I graduated Bishop Gorman in 1994.
94. I might have had some cousins that went to
Oh,
school.
okay.
Not cousins, nieces and nephews
Yeah.
that went there. I had a number of fellow aquas that went to Gorman.
So I graduated at the old campus on Maryland Parkway, and I haven't seen the new campus out in Sunland. I hear it's
Haven't seen
beautiful.
the college campus.
No, yeah, right. That's what I hear. And then went to UNLV for undergraduate,
Okay.
and I got lucky. As soon as I graduated undergraduate, they opened up a law school in Nevada. Before that, Nevada and Alaska were the only
Wow.
states that did not have a law school, but they opened up the Boyd School of Law at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I was part of the charter class there and graduated from the charter class at the law school and practiced law, became a judge at the Las Vegas Justice Court.
So now, when you ran, were you appointed first or ran?
No, I ran. I ran in a newly created department.
Okay. Was your dad still a judge at that time?
He was.
Here?
Yes.
Justice Court?
No, in district
District
court.
court.
He had eventually moved up to the trial level district court.
Okay. And so by osmosis, you have a lot of experience with it anyway.
I had been around. Yeah, he had been a judge for most of my life, almost all of my life, and I'd been around that. He talked about it.
So
A
when
lot
you
of his
came
friends
home,
were
was it like
attorneys.
this being in front of the judge at dinner?
No, he wasn't the
You
he
didn't have
wasn't the
to have
same.
a good argument.
No.
Dad, I want to go to the dance.
He was known for yelling a lot on the bench.
Oh, really?
People would always ask me, does he yell a lot? And he never did. He
Okay.
never yelled when he was at home.
Okay. Well, what kind of stuff would he be yelling at the defendant?
He was, yeah, right. At the
You
defendant, at the attorneys,
Oh,
at
okay.
witnesses. He was just known for, that was what he was known for. He was with his New York accent.
Wow.
That was just his reputation.
Okay.
And
What lessons did you learn growing up? Italian. What Italian
you know,
kind of lessons?
The Italian, I was always around the big family. You can
Okay.
understand the
Sure.
aunts and uncles
Yeah.
and all the cousins. So it was always a big family around me growing up, and
Education important.
importance of education, definitely. It always, so there's dozens of people around, and the impact it had on me was really a work ethic,
Mhm.
just a strong work ethic, and and just really dedication to whatever you
Okay.
do. You know, whether it's education, whether it's you know, your employment, it's just dedication.
Okay. So you've spent your life here in Los. You're one of the few
That's true.
born here.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. And do I understand that people that say, "Well, I'm from Las Vegas," that then the first question is, "Where'd you go to high school?"
Hmm.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school?
Always.
And when you say Gorman, it's okay. Now that says a lot.
Yeah.
And did you play sports at Gorman at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay. What was your major in UNLV?
I majored in economics in the business college.
But you were planning to go to law school.
I was planning to go to law school.
Okay. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I do have one brother.
Did he
younger
go
brother.
to law school?
He did. He
Okay.
also went to the Boyd School of Law
Okay.
at UNLV, and right now he's a deputy public defender at the public
wow.
defender's office.
And how is that office?
The public defender's office?
Here, yeah.
It's an excellent office. It
Okay.
seems to be
As close
good
to
work
parity as
environment.
possible with the DA's office?
I think so.
Okay. In San Diego, where I went to law school, the DA's office has, everything is just way better than the public defender. More investigators,
Just more resources.
more attorneys, more
Really?
investigators.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the public defender's office is a good place to do an internship when you're in law school
Mm-hmm.
because there's just so much stuff to do. I mean, just the churn.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you say about the law practice here, the court system? Good?
Good.
Of course.
Good.
Well, I just want to get that right. Let's hope it
Because I'm
does.
part of it.
Yeah, that's what you were going to say, yeah.
No, I think we have especially in justice court, we have an excellent group on the bench right now, the 14 justices of the peace. I think we have an excellent group of men and women here, really dedicated. We've got a lot of projects that we're working on. We really have a good relationship with all of our justice partners, with the Metropolitan Police Department, with the District Attorney's Office, with the Public Defender's Office, with the Clark County Detention Center. There's a lot of issues facing Las Vegas, and I think we're working on them well.
Well, good. That's good to know. Now, on another subject, completely different, favorite Italian restaurants.
So many in Las Vegas.
What are some of the ones you like?
I'm excited. I live out in Summerlin,
Okay.
and there's the one that just opened at the Red Rock Casino. I'm excited to go to the Red Rock Casino.
I'm supposed to be interviewing them.
And
I think it starts with an S or something.
I can't believe I can't remember it.
Yeah.
It closed down for a while. They're reopening now. So I go to places around there.
Have you been to Trattoria Reggiano in downtown Summerlin?
I haven't been there yet.
Okay.
Downtown
So
Summerlin's fairly new.
That's a really good one to go to. That is this one. It's Frank Bonanno, Fifth Avenue Restaurant Group. They have about 50 restaurants in town, and he's the high-end food court king. New York Pretzel, Nathan's, Johnny Rockets, but Trattoria Reggiano has one in the Venetian and one in downtown Summerlin. And one in downtown Summerlin is really fantastic. How about the Bootlegger? Ever go there?
Bootlegger, absolutely. That's a classic Las Vegas restaurant. That's excellent. The Tap House.
Okay. Do you go to open mic? Do you go?
I've been meaning to go there.
So you don't sing?
No, I don't sing, but I hear it's very entertaining. It's another institution in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And friends have invited me, and it's been long overdue for me to go there.
And the club? You go to the Italian American Club?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I went there for dinner recently. It's unbelievable what they've done with the club there.
Yeah. What we try to do with the magazine is what we did here in Las Vegas. I moved here in 2011, summer of 2011. There was 120 members in the club. By the end of the next year, it was down to 80.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much stuff to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like as you said, it's a 24-hour town. It's not like 50 years ago when the club, 55 years ago when the club started. There's not a lot of stuff. It's a great place to go meet people. And Angelo Casaro brought in Jimmy Gerard and Ben Spano, and we had stuff, and so in 4 years, we've gone from 80 members to 700 members, from mostly retired union workers from back east to mostly business owners and professionals, and from annual dues of $60 a year to, in November, it'll be $250 a year, because of your reaction. It's just, and you probably saw the Review Journal's best restaurant, Italian restaurant by the critics. So
well deserved.
What we try to do is help other clubs around the country remain relevant and be compelling. And we've gotten lucky that we have some other clubs that are very strong, like the San Francisco Italian Athletic Club, which is, I think, 100 years old, maybe over 100 years old. They really have good stuff. So we've learned from them of what do members of the clubs like, and what to do. And we have a lot to learn from them and some of the other New Orleans club. Well, there's a number of good clubs. So that's what we do. What do you foresee the future of Las Vegas?
We had that explosion, that population explosion.
Yeah.
It slowed down, but I really think it's coming back. I think we're going to see that again. I just think Las Vegas is an exciting town. I think there's lots of possibilities here, and there's lots of diversity here, and there's just lots of possibilities. So I really do think that's going to come back.
Well, it seems to be coming back. Now, when the economy is bad, are there more people going to trial? Are there more crimes?
I don't necessarily see that. It's steady.
Okay.
Business is always good. In other words,
good. Okay.
I mean, it's always steady, no matter what. We're going to see the same type. The types of offenses might change here and there. There might be more theft-related offenses, when things are bad. But it's always about the same.
When we were talking to Sheriff Lombardo, we started talking about, well, if you add in all of the people in security at these casinos that indirectly Metro works with and sort of controls, that he might have the largest, he didn't call it police force, but public service, no, what do they call it? Public safety, I think is what he called it, in the country. What would you think that's accurate?
Absolutely. It's, on the Strip especially, just that corridor, that what they have to protect, that industry.
And they have to be pretty sophisticated, the casinos, right?
Sure, just to protect their industry.
Yeah. So another good thing going for Vegas.
Sure.
So we're at the forefront of public safety.
Absolutely.
And I have never heard anything like you can't get fair trial in Las Vegas. I've never heard that.
Fair trial? Fair trial? Oh, no.
Yeah, so you don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Who would ever say that?
Yeah, no. We've got excellent leaders. Sheriff Lombardo, in his time this year, has been I think well regarded, and he's.
And Wolfson's well regarded. I've never heard that he has a reputation of being overly zealous.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's got an excellent background. In his time at city council, in his time as a private practice, he's very fair, he's very even, and he works well with everyone. And I think we've got an excellent community leaders right now.
Now, how does the court system work? Is there like here's the top judge, or is it just, if you are like justice court, here's the head, what is your actual title? Chief?
I'm the chief judge of the Las Vegas Justice Court.
Okay. Right. So is it that if you are municipal court, there's a chief judge? Is that Burt Brown?
No, right now it's Cedric Kearns.
Oh, it is?
Cedric Kearns is the chief judge. Burt Brown was the last chief judge.
So yeah, that's when we were dealing with the schools. Okay, so is it that there's the chief judge in each different court?
Yeah, there's a chief judge in each court. But
is there a judge of the judges, the chief of all the chiefs?
Yeah, there's a designated chief or presiding judge. It's sometimes called
all that includes all of the chiefs.
Of all of the chiefs?
Yeah.
No. I think there's Chief Justice Hardesty of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And But he's
So, like, if he
he's
called
really
you
chief
up-
of the Supreme Court, and
Yeah.
of
So if he couldn't call you up and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
course he
Judge.
could. And I would listen to him.
Yes, okay, yes, Judge. Okay, thank you.
But we're really just designated to represent our court. You know, we don't have
Right.
any necessarily authority over any other judges.
Right.
We're just we represent our court. You know, when meetings come up, you know,
So
we
administrative.
administratively, you know, I would poll the other judges, or I would get the judges together to take a vote, or just to get their feelings and you know, see
And what
how
if-
they would want
what
me to
if you-
represent them.
What if there's an instance where, let's say, a whole bunch of motorcycle guys got arrested, but they're different judges?
Hmm.
Is there a way to? Do you guys have a thing like to coordinate? You know, we just can't have verdicts that are just across the spectrum.
Yeah.
Because it makes somebody's going to look
Right. Yeah. There's maybe instances where you'd want consistency.
Mhm.
You know, that would be one consideration. You know, but there may be other considerations here. The district attorney's office maybe would have to consolidate the cases. So
Yeah.
you know, the defense
They're all the
attorneys
same,
would,
same fight, whatever.
right. If it's the same you know, course of events.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense attorneys, of course, the defendants themselves would have to be heard. You know, so there may be situations where you can consolidate the
Okay.
cases.
But well, you know, you have me convinced that this is, well, hopefully not me convinced, because I am convinced, but I think the point would be that the viewers watching this and the viewers who are going to be watching this get that this is, Las Vegas court system is as sophisticated as everything else in Las Vegas. You know, public safety is very sophisticated here. The casinos are very sophisticated restaurants. I mean, this is a sophisticated town. It's a 24-hour town, as we said, but it's also really sophisticated.
Right. Yeah, we strive to do that. We strive to make sure that, of course, keeping in mind that public safety is of the utmost importance, but we strive to make sure that everybody is heard, no matter what your case is. If it's a minor offense that you appear in front of us, a traffic ticket, if it's an eviction, if it's a very serious case, no matter what, you're going to be heard. You're going to have your day in court. You're going to be treated fairly. Your case is going to be heard efficiently. I mean, that's the job of a judge.
And well, you know, obviously you know what you're doing.
Thanks.
You know, it's the second generation, right?
That's right.
So I think Las Vegas is lucky. Are you the only second generation judge?
Yeah.
Or do you refer to yourself as judge? No, your card says judge, right? It doesn't say justice.
I'm judge. Yeah, judge, justice of the peace.
Yeah. Okay. So are there any other second generation?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I can't think of any offhand. But yeah, Judge Levitt. You know, Justice Levitt, Justice Myron Levitt was a judge here. He's now deceased, but I believe his family, there were some judges.
So you're the only living one?
I believe. Well, no, his daughter, I believe, is the judge right now, and I'm sure there's others. I can't think of.
Oh, so he was the first, or is she the third?
Yeah.
Is she the third?
I offhand, I really don't know.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
So you guys don't keep track of that?
No.
Okay. How do you feel about UNLV's team?
Well, I mean, they've had a couple. Their football team, they've had a couple exciting victories lately.
Yeah.
That was an exciting in-state rivalry that they just won last weekend.
Right.
Yeah. Close game, but they won. And, yeah.
Good. Well, I only have one last question that we always have to ask. Sauce or gravy?
Sauce.
Okay. So in your house, it was always sauce.
In our house, it was always called sauce.
Okay. Now, would your dad say sauce or gravy?
He would say sauce.
Okay. What about your grandparents?
Sauce.
Because they came from Italy directly, and I guess we don't really know how old your dad was. Well, let's see. When your dad left New York, it was to go to law school. I think his undergraduate degree.
I think he went in his high school, end of his high school year, so he was probably 17.
He went to Arizona?
He went to Arizona, finished high school, I believe, in Arizona, and then went to undergrad.
But your grandfather stayed in New York, or did your
No,
grandfather
he also came out.
Okay, so your dad went with the family.
Right. Right.
But some
And I believe, and he
families
was,
get
like I said, my dad was the youngest, and I believe it was for someone's health reasons. They had to
Okay.
get to drier climates, and so he was younger.
Okay, so he went to high school there, then came and college. Did he go to undergraduate?
U of A for college and for
And law school.
law school.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then did he take the Arizona bar?
No, I think he just took the Nevada bar.
Okay, so then at some point he was planning to come here.
Yeah.
Before he got here.
Right.
Okay. Well, Judge, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to the members of the clubs around the country and around the world.
Thank you for the invitation.
Okay.